Jeez. When you fish the Great Lakes, you got to get used to rough water. You can see it's pretty wavy, but that's when these fish really like to bite out here. And you know, even under these conditions, you would think that you could, you know, use a power bait, but you got to finesse fish. That right there, that Ned Rig has become one of the top things that you can actually fish for finesse. When you get that in front of them, the way that works on that stand-up head, they just can't help but bite it. You know, the biggest thing when you're fishing offshore like this, you know, for smallmouth on the Great Lakes, is they're always going to be related to some kind of structure. You know, this is just a rocky break right here. We've got the wind blowing in on it. The thing about this Ned Rig is it's designed as a bottom bouncing bait. With that head design, it makes that thing just stand up on the bottom, and that's what's special about it. Normally, you want to use the lightest weight that you can get away with. You can see out here, I'm out here in the big waves in the wind, and I'm fishing pretty deep, so I've got a 3/16 ounce on. That's a pretty heavy one. In shallower water, you know, I want to use a 16th ounce. The lighter the head you use, the better the action on that Ned Rigs. Good. Yeah, without that spot lock, I would never be able to stay positioned out here, hold, land one, or do anything. There we go. Look at there. The power of the Ned Rig, and it fell right out. You know, they are eating gobies, and that's why a Ned Rig is so popular of a bait for smallmouth now, because those gobies stay locked to the bottom, and that's right where the Ned Rig is. So all you want to do is just have that thing, you know, standing up. If you got a tough bite, nothing beats a Ned Rig. What I'm trying to do is really take advantage of the technology that I have. One of the big things is I'm really focused on this Mega 360. If you look real close right here, you'll see this rock pile right here off the front. I can see that there's a rock line right there, and that's really what I'm focusing on. There's this right here, having that forward scanning sonar, having the Minn Kota Ultrex, where I can just keep it spot locked so I can focus on fishing and not worrying about trying to control the boat. It's everything. You know, I would not be able to be efficient out here on this spot if I didn't have that technology. You know, I've been fishing the Great Lakes my whole life, and you know, you get used to fishing big water, but it's something that you really have to respect. You know, I really take my time. I'm real patient. This Z21 handles it like no other boat I've ever been in, but I respect it, and you have to be prepared for it, and first and foremost, be safe. The main thing I'm trying to do is keep myself positioned on this edge where the fish are at. It just gets so fat from eating all the gobies. That is what has really changed the fishery out here more than anything. There's always been good smallmouth up here, but the gobies are just such a great food source. It's so prolific, they just don't have to move. So, and the gobies live on the rocks. You find the rocks, you're gonna find the big smallies. All you want to do with this Ned Rig is you want to cast it out, and I want it to sink to the bottom with a dead slack line. You know, you want it, a lot of the times in this clear water, they're going to bite it on the fall, so make sure that it's slack on the way down, and then all I'm doing is just trying to drag it real slow, keep that jig head on the bottom, and just having it stand up. You know, that's what this thing does so well. You know, with this setup is I'm using a 7.2 medium light. It's a GS4 Lew's KVD rod. It's got a real extra fast tip, and when you get that bite, man, it can be real subtle, and I just reel into them. I just use that reel real fast. With that braid, you can feel everything. Let that rod load and then pull into them. If you miss one, immediately drop it right back down there, because they'll come right back there and bite it. A Ned Rig is basically a modified shaky head. And what I like is I want one that makes the bait really stand up. So the Strike King Ned head on this Strike King Ned Ocho is what I use today, and it really does. This is a standard Ned Rig type bait. You know, I was using Blue Craw today that really matches the gobies out here in Lake Michigan, and just has a lot of action, a lot of visibility, and they really like to bite it. That Ned Rig, when you get that in front of them, the way that works on that stand-up head, they just can't help but bite it. Another big, solid smallie. Fat, gosh.